Good day and welcome back to Elementary 72 Gaming. And welcome back to another Tower of God video. And for this video in particular, I'm actually going to be covering everything that happens within the end of Team B's test. I'm actually hoping to cover it all unless anything unexpected happens in the middle of my recording. So this is going to be a bit faster than the previous one, but it might be a little bit slower as well. There's a reason why I suspect it'll be a little bit slower, so bear with me. First of all, there's going to be a lot of commentary on Quant, and there's some commentary on talking about him that is going to be bringing up things which is dealing with how Quant describes people with power. Remember, Quant has a lot of power compared to the regulars. He is very cocky, he's very arrogant, and the way in which he does his things is he's holding up people to a moral point of view. Right? And a moral point of view is he doesn't like traitors, and it may seem like something which is foolish or not perfect or not ideal, but it's actually a very good trait for Quant to have. Because he doesn't like traitors, he treats the team in different ways depending on who they are. Like the way he treats Ho when he finds out that Ho is actually betraying them. He treats him really badly, and if you think about the way he's about to treat Huts, he hits Huts really hard. He puts him through quite a heavy situation, but he feels pity for him. You see, he knocked him out and he just left him. And you see his mood keeps getting worse and worse. And we see this one, you're not the only player. What does he mean? Okay, so Ender Rossi and the Fisherman, I've already covered everything about this here. Going up with power, the ability to consume everything below you, how her dynamic is actually moving. But there's another dynamic to come here. You see, normally when someone is extraordinarily powerful and they look for something to fill in the gaps wherever it's lacking in their life, and you may take this whichever way you want to, it applies to everybody, right? Yet again, another thing being pulled out from the background of the story. It also goes into spoiling things later down the line. That's one of the reasons why I'm doing this over-inapt, over-detailed analysis of everything. The ideas that I'm pulling out for the simple perspectives, they keep playing out over and over again. If you think about this here with the betrayal and feeding off others, think about it with Baragrav and his light bearer. Team Baragrav acted like they were anti-Fug, right? They acted like they were part of the team. They led them to a possible victory, and then they stabbed everybody in the back. That's what Baragrav's team did, and that's what happened to Bam at the workshop battle. Think about Beta, think about Karaka. Higher ideals and coming up through competition makes him a really arrogant and weird individual. Yet again, the whole same story playing over and over again. In case anybody thinks that I'm just pushing a political opinion on this, yeah, the story is highly political. A lot of people don't get this here, but a lot of times what you see in these stories, because they reflect the world, is a view of politics. And this one doesn't have one where the author is telling you a view you can use. He's actually telling you about the view of this world. So I know it sounds a bit weird from the way I'm saying it, but when you think about it reasonably, it's not that bad of a way to actually go for narrating a story, because at the end of the day, nobody's going to complain about a world they're not part of. And yeah, you get to enjoy all of the thrills for this world without having to have to be part of it. So yeah, it's kind of a weird one, but I enjoy it myself, and I know that a lot of other people do as well. And this is why animes are so fantastic. Think about Demon Slayer in itself. Demon Slayer, if you're talking about the anime, they give you this idealistic thing about slaying demons. In reality, slaying demons doesn't have all that flashy fire and lightning and all of their weird techniques. It's just the motion that they have that causes an effect against the demons, right? There's no lightning, there's no fire. The effect it causes is it kills them. A normal blade can't kill them because we've seen what happens when a normal blade is used to attack them. It's just a quick attack and it's over. There's nothing more to it. So yeah, that is the sad reality of interfering with other enemies. But I am in the Tower Star. So yeah, each one of these will give you a certain point of view that is generally, how would I put it? It's not ostracized. It's generally not positively viewed, and these will range from things that you see in everyday life to things that you hardly ever see, and it actually makes a massive difference to the way you think if you allow it to affect you, because it can red pill you, if you know what that means. Red pill means it can take away the illusion of the world around you and the false facades that are there. And you have to be careful when you read these things, because if you read too in depth, you can red pill yourself out of being part of society. So be careful about red pilling yourself with the comic. And the reason why nobody finds them bad is because a comic doesn't push an idea. A comic will have several different points of views. Think about Attack on Titan. It has several different points of views. Same thing with Tower of God. Several different points of views for you to view at. You've got Ender Rossi, you've got Kun, you've got Balm. Balm is like pure innocence. You've got Rachel, pure jealousy. You've got Anak, seeking revenge no matter what it costs you. You've got Shibisu, fulfilling the wish of others. You've got Hats trying to find the honor in everything that you do. You've got so many of these characters, and all of their ideals is what you're seeing in this first season. You get to second season and you get Wagner, somebody who is mysterious. You don't even get to see all of his stuff. It's like the realities that we don't get to see. And from what you can see of him, you understand that he's nice, but he's hiding something, and he could be the most evil individual from the entire group. He could be good, he could be bad. We know that he feels like he's bad, and it might reflect later on when he does something, but yeah, that's some things that you have to look out for. And we see that he's shocked at how fast Ender Rossi is in the heavy concentration of Shinsu. And here's something which is also very important on that situation. A random group of people just thrown together doesn't always mean you're going to get things done. Doesn't mean they're your teammates. They're just people who are there with you at the moment. I know this here makes it sound kind of weird from the way that it's actually described, but you have to understand it from that point of view. And here's something very important. Forget about Rachel, go find your own happiness. Rachel isn't a good girl. She isn't a nice person. He even said it in the start. He knows that. She's gonna ruin him if he follows Rachel. Find his own happiness, and he actually ends up doing that in the end. Levin, that's his name. I couldn't remember him till I saw his face. Okay, so this is the whole Levin, Rachel, and I think they have one more light bearer on their team. This team had 3 light bearers. The other team had, oh no, I think the light bearers were the same. This team had more. I'm forgetting which role was overextended on this team. It makes a difference to the fighting strategies, but I'm like totally lost. Sorry about this. I'm trying to figure out in my head which one it is. One team had more. No, this one you didn't have more fishermen. The first team had 2 wave controllers. This one has 3 wave controllers. Okay, so 1 extra wave controller. So it would have to be one of the other positions. I believe that they had 3 light bearers, but I'm not 100% sure. So let's keep going. And here's Ho enacting his plan. Okay, so we move on to the next episode. That was episode 46. This is episode 47. This is episode number 48, but it's episode 47. It's confusing like mad to me. I remember there used to be buttons. Oh, the buttons are still here. They're just invisible. I don't know why that happened. But nonetheless, let's continue with this. And this here is another topic, Ho. Ho is a topic all to himself. Everything that he did, from the way he behaves in the safety zone to the betrayal of his friends who he's just made because of his lack of power. Okay, so there's a whole lot to talk about here. And here's something really sad. You see what Baum says here? It's actually a reality in our world. We step across our friends. We stab them in the back. We do everything for the benefit of ourselves, and at the end of the day, what we are left with is a sad world. And sometimes it's more sad than you'd like to actually think. And this is something that Baum is pointing out right now. It may not be exactly as I'm saying it, but yeah, it is kind of the reality of the world, should I say. And I'm a little bit lost for words on what I want to say here. But the way in which he reacts to this here is very, very common for a person. You see, we all want to hold up these morals, and we want to stand up for our friends, and we want to be by their side. But because of the world we live in, and the fact that at some point or the other you're going to think about stepping across your friends, you're going to think about, I could make $1 million today, right? Be whatever currency it is, dollars, rands, pounds, rubles, doesn't matter, right? Whatever currency, you can make $1 million today. All you've got to do is make sure that your friend doesn't know how you made it, so that you stay rich at the end of the day. And yeah, it's ruthless in that manner, but it's one of the easier things to do for a lot of people, and people are going to do it. People do it every day. I'm not going to deny that it's a part of our world, but yeah, those are the things that happen, and we don't really. There's a special wording that I should use for this here, to be honest, and I haven't even used it. We don't even consider how wrong it is at the time when we do it. We do it for the benefit of going up in life, right? Going up the tower, going up in life, and that is why we'll do these things. And it will hurt people. We may not kill the person, or we may not be responsible for their death in any way because of what we did, but we end up hurting them emotionally, we end up hurting them non-physically, and it's our fault as people in their lives, and it doesn't really bother too many people enough. And those who feel it generally get left behind, they don't get anywhere. But Bam is a rare case. He ends up having to have to hurt a lot of people to protect what is dear to him, and he ends up becoming a monster in an even greater sense than anything else. He can't stand hurting people, and when you think about what happens down the line, season 3, he literally starts a war. He's responsible for the deaths of thousands of people, and he's one of the kindest and sweetest individuals there are. And they are generally the people who start wars. They're too full of idealism, they're too full of a good nature, and they will do whatever is necessary to protect others. And this is something else. You see, Ender Rossi is always adored by everybody, but she can't understand why he likes Rachel so much. She's not that beautiful. She got dumped. This is something even more scary, right? The ignition weapons are ridiculous. Remember, Bomb ignited that. Bomb ignited the Black March. Now, yes, the ignition of the Black March changes its tier up, and it gives it a massive amount of power. But the fact that the Black March popped the balloon is only because of its wielder. If its wielder doesn't have enough power to sustain its ignition, the Black March can't ignite. So that means that Bomb technically is as powerful as a high ranker princess. Some ignition weapons can't be used by regulars, right? They're just way too powerful. Think about Dong Hei from Wala Yuk Song, the sword that Hats uses. When a powerful person uses it, it will kill them with its ignition. It's that dangerous. And Black March is on that high tier of ignition weapons. It may not be Dong Hei level dangerous, but it consumes your power at an alarming rate when you use it. So yeah, we can only imagine how crazy powerful Bomb truly is. Okay, let's keep going. I got a bit tired of watching the still screen, and I did say I'm going to keep this to the end of this battle. Now here's the weird part, right? It's drawing a parallel to reality. It's easier to explain it with reality. You always see someone who has it better in life than you, right? They blessed, they super intelligent. They can pull off 100% in tests without studying. They, you know, they're special. But you never think about what they had to sacrifice to get there, because that's something you won't consider. It's something that we generally as humans don't think about. We very selfish in that manner, and that's exactly what Bam is going through right now in this part of the story. You see, Ho is seeing all of the benefits that he has, but he doesn't know the sad reality of what Bam has gone through in the past. And if he did, he wouldn't be so willfully thinking about destroying Bam right now. He'll be thinking, wow, so that is what he sacrificed. He literally died and came back to life, and yeah, that's unfair. He should have stayed dead when he died, but he died and he came back, and that's why he's so special. Yeah, this is a unique individual. He's a rarity of rarities. We should respect the guy a little bit more. And yeah, that's how they should see Baam, but instead, Ho sees Baam as a monster. Right, so he sees Baam as a monster, but Baam has gone through worse than anybody can imagine, and that just goes for reality. We talk about all of these movements. I don't care what movement it is, but you never think about what's going on the other side. A fight for something as simple as who gets to walk. Sorry, who gets to walk on the right side of the road? Let's say it was summarized, right? They always walk on the right side of the road or the left side of the road. It was the law for them, so they didn't end up bumping katanas with each other and getting into fights. And what you don't understand about those people was they were given that right because they fight and kill and they get killed all the time. Their entire life was war, and that is why they got that privilege. But on the other hand, you have to give them way all the time because they're dangerous. Yeah, it's true, they're being pampered a little bit, but consider what they go through. You have a mercenary running through your town, you got a murderer, you got a rapist. They come there, they kill them. Yeah, they'll collect the reward on them if somebody puts a reward on it, and if there's no reward, they'll still come and kill them. And at the end of the day, you give them a small amount of respect. And when the ordinary people see it and there's a whole lot of samurai walking around, maybe not every single one has killed 100 criminals or even a criminal in their life, but they are a deterrent for the criminals. And you see people like, how can they get that special treatment? It's a special treatment because of a special right, a special thing that they've done for the people, and that is why they get it. That's why they get what you call a blessing, why they get a privilege. So yeah, just talking about that. And here's it with Quant. Remember, Quant is very powerful, calling himself the god on the stage. Okay, yeah, there's 2 more episodes if I'm correct. 3, whoa, okay, right, so it's gonna be a heavy push from here on out, because I can't talk about these fights in greater perspective, but you get it. There's a lot of things that happen in the world that are happening in the Tower of God that we're going to see later on, where we don't get to see both perspectives, which is why you shouldn't take a stance on whether you hate Jahad or not. Remember, Jahad killed Baam as a kid. Yeah, we like Baam, but we don't understand the circumstances. Jahad could have killed Baam because Baam is a monster, a real monster. Or Baam is a partial reincarnation of his father. You never know. Okay, so here we go. Actually, I think this is bad. I might have to break this up. I don't want to do more than 30 minutes on an episode on full spoilers. 30 minutes is killing it for me in terms of time. So let's think about this here. Alright, I'm going to have to break it up. This was fantastic. Quant had tunnel vision, right? You may not understand what this means, but he was so focused on a single idea that he almost got caught off guard. It most probably is the whistling sound or the whizzing sound of the spear against the Shinsu that woke him up to the fact that an attack was coming in. And that's how come he managed to dodge it. So this is what Parakul did. He went and he captured his own teammates and he used them as hostages. And here Bomb shows up at the safety zone. Right, we see he doesn't know anything that happened to him, right? His talent is natural born. Bam got it all naturally. He didn't have to work for it. But he suffered other things in his life. His life hasn't been easy. He doesn't have a mother. He doesn't have a father. He doesn't have memories of his childhood. He was raised by his mother and then he was murdered in the tower. And then he was reincarnated by the god outside the tower. And we don't know anything else about the story. We don't know why he was reincarnated. We don't even know if he was actually reborn. We don't know whether the spell that was put on him just stopped him from instantly regenerating or regenerating over a small period of time. None of that is known. And Baum could be an immortal child, right? He could have been born immortal and he's always going to be immortal, and he's this monster with monstrous power. He could have tension and power to become the emperor of the tower from the time he was a kid. That's why Jahad had to kill him, because he has the potential to kill everybody in the tower, and that's the only thing that he can do. Can you imagine that? And here's where we're about to get someone who is gifted and talented talk about another person who's gifted and talented. He actually pulled off the Ranker's move. Now, I'm not going to get into the next one, and I'm going to explain why this is so monstrous and why it's considered to be monstrous at best. I'm actually going to continue recording immediately after this, so yeah, I'm going to get back into this here immediately. So here is why Baum is considered to be such a monster. First of all, Baum copied a technique that takes you hundreds of years to develop. Hundreds. You don't even understand how crazy that is. In terms of reality, it's like a genius versus somebody who is ultra slow in school. You know, you take 24 years to finish school. There are some people who should take 24 years, but most of the systems in the world have something called a condoned pass. You pass them out of mercy to give them to the next grade so they don't outgrow the schooling system. They can't repeat for more than 2 terms, and they have an age limit to which they can stay in school. So yeah, eventually you will get kicked out of school. So yeah, they condone pass them out, and you get people who are really old and really advanced in age who can't do the work that others can do. To them, the others around them are practically really good. And then you get some people who are smart there who are even better than that there. They think of them as geniuses because they can do all that work. And then you get an actual genius, and when they show up, it makes all of that seem rather impossible, because the progress is, remember, it's going to take them 24 years to finish school, while this super genius is going to enter in the time that it takes you to go from grade R to grade 4, and he's going to be done with school and in university. By the time he reaches university, it will take him 2 years to do what takes people 20 years to complete. And they're just going to keep growing further and further and further, and that's the reality behind what makes Baum such a monster. He has that type of genius potential, the actual genius potential, should I say. So yeah, that's the reality behind it. I hope that you did enjoy this episode, and I'll catch you on the flip side.